Good evening, good evening, and welcome to the official college football kickoff show for 2025. We planned on doing this yesterday, but hey, we said, okay, we'll wait the day after the 4th, give everyone a chance to enjoy their 4th of July. And first things first, I would like to wish everyone a happy 4th of July weekend. Fourth fall, anytime your birthday or celebration falls on a Friday, you get the entire weekend to celebrate. So happy birthday, America. Happy birthday weekend, America. Salute to everyone that's in the chat. Super Jim, Fantastic Max, for everyone that's watching in the shadows. Salute and good evening, and welcome to my co-host, D Truth. Salute to you, salute to you, salute, brother, salute.
Yeah, salute. And you know me, I hardly ever celebrate no holidays, you know what I'm saying? But it was nobody was barbecuing. Nobody was barbecuing. Like everybody said, we're gonna take the free path and go to the beach. That was it. We
Yeah,
talked about
everybody was
this.
at the pool. Everybody was at the pool, or they were doing something water related.
Yeah, yeah. And nobody was on the grill. I heard fireworks as you could if you was in my live last night, you probably could hear little fireworks going off. Like, okay, yeah, okay. But nobody was on the grill yesterday, so hey,
Hmm.
it is what it is. But 49 more days. 49 more
49
days.
more days. 49 more days to the kickoff. And this is the last month where we have no NFL, the last month where we have no college football, the last month where we have no high school football. So this is the last month of the year without any football.
Y'all wondering, it is the first uh, college football game. It is August 23rd, and I'm going ahead and tell you, and it's on them low level teams that gonna play. Gonna be the first team to kick off the college football season. So hey, it is what it is. So I'm ready. How about you,
I'm ready.
Jill? Fantastic Matt. I look. We went through Mars Madness. Went through the College World Series and all that stuff. I'm like, man, now what we do? God, God, Major League. Look at hockey's over with. Major League Baseball is not till until October. So ain't no exciting that till the playoffs get here. So guess what? We are stuck. We are stuck.
Exactly, exactly. But we all know how the month of July goes. After the 4th of July, it seems like this month just flies by. And I'm not just saying that, now that I'm in my 50s, but it was like this as a kid. I remember as a kid, after the 4th, it seems like that those last couple of weeks just flew by. And next thing you know, the first day of school was rolling around.
Yep. And the first two
Mhm.
games of the uh, August 23rd is Iowa State, Kansas State, Idaho State versus UNLV. So them.
Mhm.
So I don't know if they're gonna kick off UNLV and Idaho State at 12 or whatever, but them gonna be two games to kick off the college football season. So
Okay. Okay. Now, what we're going to be discussing this evening is the greatest of all time in every sport. Now, we're going to close out the show with that, and we're going to be speaking on the major sports only. But starting off, we're going to start off with college football. We're going to go greatest of all time, and I'm going to ask you. We're gonna go. I'm gonna ask you your greatest college football player of all time and your greatest college football team of all time. So we're gonna start off with you, D Truth.
hmm, boy, you know it have been some major college football players that has came through of all time, different eras, and I want to go say this right here. I'm not going to go by numbers. I'm not going to go by numbers, right? I'm going to go for. This is who I'm going to go for. He played football, right? And guess what is named after him is the Heisman Trophy. I got to go with him. Oh, the greatest football player of all time. Cause you can't be the greatest football player without if you got something named after you that people play for, that a player goes for at the end of the year, like the Heisman Trophy. See what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
so that's the only reason I went with Heisman as my greatest all time. Cause you
Okay,
can't
so you
go ahead.
okay, so you're going John W. Heisman.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, all right. Now your greatest college football team of all time. That's going to be the hard one right there.
Yeah.
That's going to
Yeah.
be the hard one.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause you got cause I because you look like I said in eras, you had Army Navy the winning title, Navy winning titles, Alabama with the consecutive streak winning titles, so on and so on. Whoo, Lord have mercy. Mm, 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 mm. Well, who should I put as the greatest? One of my greatest team. I'm gonna. Don't worry. I'm finna be biased. You know I'm finna be biased, right?
Mhm.
No, I'm finna be biased, right?
Go ahead.
That Auburn team that went undefeated and didn't get a chance to play for a national championship. And remember, and remember that team finished this year on a roll and went into the next year and finished this year like it had a winning streak all through that year and went into that next year on a winning streak. So I got to go. I got to go with that because if a team, I'm looking at, and then I got a second one too. I got a second one too. I got a second one too. It's hard.
And
Like I
that
said, it's
second one
go
to be
ahead.
your honorable mention.
Yeah, I got to go with the. I got to go old school, bro. I got to go old school. And these two gonna be honorable mention. Army and Navy back in the day. Well, they have all these rules they got now. It was tough back then. It was tough back then. So that there you go, bro.
Okay. Um. Okay. My greatest college football player of all time is a player that has done something that no other player has done in college football history, and that's got to be Archie Griffin. He won two
Okay.
Heisman back to back, and one would argue that he could have easily won it in '73. A lot of people felt like he got robbed in '73, so he won in '74, '75. For those of
Yeah.
you that don't know, for you youngsters that don't
Yeah.
know, so Archie Griffin, in my opinion, because he done something that no other college football player has done, as great as Herschel Walker, Bo Jackson, and let's say
Sam
Derrick
and all.
Henry, Tim Tebow. As great as they were, they only were able to win it one time. Archie Griffin did it two times, and Nelson was back before you had the internet era, before you had ESPN, all of that. So that was
Yeah.
tough. Salute to you, 225 girl. Happy Saturday
Respect,
to you.
respect 225. And
Uh,
I'm gonna say this right here. We
Hold
both
on, hold on,
did.
hold on,
Go ahead.
hold on, man.
Yeah,
Calm
I thought
down,
you were
bro.
finished.
Calm
I
down.
thought you were
No, no,
finished.
I got to give you my greatest college football team of all time,
Okay, go ahead.
and I got an honorable mention too. My greatest college football team of all time is the team that put the most players in the NFL in that draft following their championship season, and that would be the '01 Hurricanes. You cannot
Okay.
deny
Yeah. Yeah.
that entire damn roster went into the NFL.
Yeah.
They set
Yeah.
a record. No school has come close. I think the 2014 Ohio State Buckeyes came close. The 2012 Alabama Crimson Tide came close, but no one was ever able to overtake what that '01 Hurricane team. And they put out a bunch. Not only did they put a lot of players in the NFL, they put out a lot of players in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
A lot
Yeah.
of players. You talking about Ed Reed. You got some players that are Hall of Fame bound. I think one day Jonathan Vilma will be in there. Sean Taylor would definitely get in there. You know, we talking about some beasts, man. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Clinton Porters, you can make an argument that Clinton Porters will eventually get in there.
yeah, yeah.
My honorable mention, would have to be a tie between the 95 Nebraska Cornhuskers and the 2010 Auburn Tigers. Because the reason why I say that, because those two teams dominated. And the 95 Nebraska Cornhuskers,
Oh
not the
yeah, boy.
94. That
Man,
95 Nebraska Cornhusker team, Tommy Frazier, they was just dominant. The
yeah,
offense on both sides of the football. Uh, Auburn, that 2010 Auburn team, although they played around with their opponents, not only were they great and they had a perfect season, but they did it by playing one of the toughest schedules. If you go back in the last 25 years of national champions, and you pull up their schedule, that 2010 Auburn Tiger team had a gauntlet that they had to go through. So that is
and,
why they made my honorable mention. Go ahead.
and, and then another thing on that 2010 look what's kind of scandal that we had to play through. See what I'm saying? That right there. How many teams could have played through what Cam Newton and the Auburn Tigers had to go through that year?
Mm-hmm.
And I love the Archie Griffin pick as
Mm-hmm.
greatest of all time. Cause like I'm saying, he got see I like that right there. Cause two Heisman, it's hard to win one.
Mm-hmm.
To win back to back, and
Mm-hmm.
then and I'm trying to figure out why did you say a Heisman? That what the Heisman trophy named that name that who he named after. See what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
them two kind of go together. Cause if it went for Heisman, we wouldn't be having a half a trophy winner, would we?
Yeah, the reason why I didn't want to go any further back beyond the 60s is because we know back
Some
during that time, everybody wasn't allowed to play. Everybody
yeah, yeah,
wasn't allowed to compete. And I'm just going with eras where everybody competed, everybody was able to compete, and who knows what would have happened if everybody would have been given an opportunity to compete.
yeah, yeah,
To compete, would John W. Heisman, would he have dominated? Had a player from Grambling or a player from Southern or a player from FAMU would have been able to
yeah,
compete, with
yeah,
with the with the PWIs,
yeah,
it,
yeah,
I mean, it is what it is.
yeah.
But that's a
And
good pick. I respect that pick. The trophy is named after him.
that's the only reason I went with him because of the
Hmm.
trophy. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because I could have went in. Look, like I said, it's hard. It's hard to pick one player for the greatest of all time in college football because you had
Hmm.
so many. Because so many had done so much greatness in college football. You can't put them all. It's hard to pick one. But guess what?
Hmm.
We look here. Some of y'all might agree. Some of y'all might disagree. And for the Hurricanes and Nebraska, man, that's a heck of a pick. That's a heck of a pick. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Hey, you understand? Hey, they play. The rules changed a little bit, but not like it changed now. You see what I'm saying? Like back in like when I put Army Navy, the rules was, hey, you come around that corner, you gonna get close out or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I like football like that. but
Hmm.
but the Nebraska, man, that 95, good God Almighty, bro. What you talking about?
Exactly. Exactly. Now, we're gonna do the NFL, and then we're gonna move on to we're gonna do the NFL, and then we're gonna do boxing, and then we're gonna move on.
Okay.
Okay, so greatest NFL player, greatest NFL team of all
Mm,
time.
the greatest NFL player of all time. Hmm. Hmm. I'm going through my Rolodex now. Oh boy, it's like I said, the greatest is no wrong answer to this right here, but I'm gonna have to go with uh I'm gonna go with Jim Brown. I gotta go with Jim Brown, bro. That running style of his, and most of the young players these days is mimicking his run style and what he had to go through back then. You feel what I'm saying? It,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of hard not to go with Jim Brown. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But hey, I'm going with Jim Brown.
Okay. And your greatest team of all time.
I know some people gonna think I'm gonna say Dallas. Nope. Some people might think I'm gonna say San Fran. Nope. Whew. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. I'm going to have to go. I'm gonna have to be biased again, bro, on this one. Dan Reeves, Atlanta Falcons. Nobody gave them a chance. Nobody gave them a chance to make the playoff. They do what they did. All they did, mess up the Super Bowl.
Salute
But
to you,
no,
Angelica.
nobody gave them a chance. I got to be biased again. I got to go with them.
Okay.
Considering what they had to go through with Dan Reeves, what he had a heart attack that year too. So hey, but then again, with I could go with Green Bay back then, Vince Lombardi. So that's my honorable mention right there. Hey, Angelica, there
The
you go.
beautiful, gorgeous Angelica. Salute to you. Um, okay. All right. Um, my greatest NFL player of all time is a player that dominated three different decades. And when you go through three different decades, meaning you dominated in two different generations. He dominated uh when I was a kid in the 80s, and he dominated when I was an adult. And that's Jerry Rice. Salute to you. Salute to you, Mike. Salute to you, brother. Salute to you, Teasy.
Like teasy.
Jerry Rice dominated in the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s. Okay,
Hey,
so
yeah.
you cannot erase that,
Uh huh.
and he was without a doubt. I mean, he never slacked off. It wasn't a season where how some players, how sometimes they said Chad Johnson had good years, he fell off some years.
Yeah. Yeah.
T.O. had good years, he fell off some years. Randy Moss had years, and then there were years that he didn't want to go across the middle. There was no flaw with Jerry Rice. Nothing in his game, no flaw whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here you
Now,
go through.
greatest.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, let me cook, man. Let me cook. Salute to you, King on 30. Now, my greatest NFL team of all time, I have to give it a dead even tie, and you name one of them, the 67 Green Bay Packers. Okay, they were coming off a three-peat. They went through a gauntlet in 67. They had to play probably the best Dallas Cowboy football team in franchise history. That 67 team beat them in the ice, beat them in the ice, and they had to deal with injuries. And Vince Lombardi, Vince Lombardi, the man had cancer. He didn't tell anybody what was going on with him, but the man was battling cancer. And he coached and led that team to an NFL championship. So the 67 Green Bay Packers is one. The other one, look, man, you can't beat going perfect. You can't beat perfection. And that goes to the 72 Miami Dolphins. They did something that no other team has done and probably never will. Now that they done stretched it out to 19, you got to win 19 to 20 now to to be perfect. You got to be 20 and 0 to be perfect, and eventually it will go to 21. So those are my two dead even ties: the 72 Dolphins and the 67 Green Bay Packers. Honorable mention, um, the '09 Saints. The '09 Saints, listen, love them or hate them, brother. We Falcon fans. We are Falcon fans. But that '09 Saints team, you look at that schedule, they went through a gauntlet. They won the Super Bowl and they went through a gauntlet. Think about it, man. They
Yeah.
had to play the Giants. The defending, well, when they had to play the Giants, they had to go through Pittsburgh. They
Yep.
had to go through Dallas.
Yep.
They beat the embarrassed New England in a
Mm.
Monday night game on Halloween. Then let's look at the playoff opponents now. Look, they had to go through Kurt Warner. They went through
Mm.
three Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Okay. Kurt Warner, Brett Favre, and Peyton Manning. Three of the best quarterbacks in that generation during that time in the early 2000s. They went
Yep.
through
Yep.
three Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, man.
Yeah.
Three Super Bowl MVP winning quarterbacks. Kurt Warner, Brett Favre, and doggone Peyton Manning. Well, Brett Favre then he should have won the MVP. They robbed him. They gave it to Desmond Howe, but we all know Brett Favre was the MVP of that game. But
Yeah. Yeah.
three of the greatest quarterbacks during that era, the
Hmm.
Saints went through them. So you gotta put some respect on that
Yeah.
'09 Saints team,
Yeah.
in my opinion, man. I
Yeah.
can't
Like I said,
stand them, but I got to
no,
give
we
them
sure
credit.
can't stand them. But like I said, it's no right or wrong answer to who we pick. You know what I'm saying? No,
Hmm.
because every team got a specific thing that make them great. But I got one more
Hmm.
question for you. I got one more question for you. I got one more. The
Hmm.
greatest game that you ever seen.
The
The greatest
greatest,
game. Yeah.
the greatest football game that I ever seen in my lifetime.
Hmm.
Uh, woo. What is it? Do I have to do NFL, college, or how?
We,
In what
we, we gonna
order?
go. We gonna go both college and NFL.
Greatest NFL football game that I ever seen in my lifetime was that playoff game between the Chargers and Miami in '81. When I tell you, man, it was drama, high stakes drama. Think about it. The Chargers took a 24 to nothing lead in
Hmm.
the first quarter. The Dolphins came back and tied it up going into
Hmm.
halftime. Then they went back and forth in the third and fourth quarter, went into overtime,
Hmm.
double overtime. And Kellen Winslow, which is a tight end, blocked
Hmm.
two kicks in overtime. Man, it was just so much storylines in that game. And
Yeah.
that to me, in my opinion,
Yeah.
the greatest NFL football game that I ever seen with my eyes, since I've
NFL.
been on earth.
Yeah.
In the
NFL. Right.
NFL. In the NFL. College, um, woo.
It's been plenty of it in college. Woo. Mm.
I got to say, man, I got to say that 2019 LSU Bama game, man.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
The reason why, man, because Bama was dominant. That was during Saban's dynasty.
Hmm.
And if you look at it, LSU had been losing to them. I think they was like on a 6-game losing streak or
Hmm.
something like that. They lost
Yeah.
to them 6, 7 years straight or something like that. And to do it in Tuscaloosa. Now, if it would have been done in Death Valley, it wouldn't even be on my list.
Yeah.
But they did it in Bryant Denny, brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did it in Bryant Denny to they literally, honestly, a lot of people talk about Georgia being the one to end Bama's dynasty. That dynasty ended that day
Yeah.
because they have not won a national title in a regular 12 game season uh since that.
Mm.
Since that, I mean, it was 2019. Yeah, they won the year later in the pandemic in
Yeah.
2020, but that was like what, a 10-game season.
Yeah.
They 2019, had they gotten past LSU, they would have went on and won the national title. Those were the two best teams, hands down, the two best teams in the nation, and LSU beat them, and I think that kind of like played a part in what happened in the Iron Bowl a few weeks later. They weren't the same. They had injuries, but LSU beat them when they were at their best. Tua wasn't injured yet. When they lost that Iron Bowl, y'all played against Mac Jones.
Mm.
Y'all didn't get Tua. They beat Bama when Bama was at full strength. So that says a lot about that. That game was just a lot of drama, high stakes drama. LSU jump out to a 3 touchdown lead. Bama
Yeah.
comes back, make a game out of it. You know, first half they were throwing the ball all over the place. Then in the second half, it became a ground game. It was damn near like a rugby game. It went to the ground, and
Yeah.
the team with the better offensive line, better D line, won the game, and that was LSU.
Yep. 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 And I'm going. Hey, them two good picks. And I got an honor mention in the greatest game too, in college game. But my greatest game that I ever seen.
I know
Everybody
what you're
want
gonna say.
everybody want to hop on Atlanta and New England, right? They forget about Tampa Bay in the fourth quarter with less than 5 minutes left, up 4 touchdowns on Peyton
Yeah,
Manning and Indianapolis Colts.
damn good pick. Damn good pick. Damn good pick.
They forgot about that game.
Damn good pick. Let me tell you something. That was one time where half of America was late going to work that Tuesday morning.
Hey,
I know everybody stayed up watching that. Come
look,
on now.
this is what I can't figure out. This is what I cannot figure out. You up by 4 scores, not 4 field goals, 4 touchdowns, and an extra point. How in the world you let a team get 3 onside kick?
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's a good 3 onside kicks and fourth quarter comeback on a Monday night.
In less than four
That's what
minutes.
makes that game so epic. It happened on a Monday night.
Mm-mm. And you know how Peyton Manning is. And look what kind of defense Tampa Bay had. Look who they
The
had on
best
that defense.
They had the best defense in the league that year. So
And my college, I'm going to have to go with that 9-6 game LSU and Bama. A defensive ball game back and forth 2011.
that's a good one. The 2011, the game of the century, 2011. Yeah, that's a good one. Kind of boring for my taste.
Yeah, defense.
I want to see some scoring. Now I'm a
Yeah,
defensive guy, but I want to see some scoring too. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. But the reason I picked that game because you didn't know who was going to win because both defense were playing their butt off.
Mhm.
Neither offense could get that going. And think about it, they kind of had you on the edge of the seat of that game. And
Mhm.
my honorable mention is 24-0 in Brian Denny, 2010.
Yeah, the comeback.
Lord have mercy. Me, you was talking that game. Me, you was talking that game at halftime. And you know I was kind of down in that game too. I was down in that game at halftime. You were like, they're gonna do something, they're gonna do something. I'm like, man, cause it seemed like everything Bama did in that first half, it went right for them. It went right for them. But the turning point in that game, when that how in the world do a defensive lineman run down a running back?
I man, I think Mark Ingram just got cute. He got cute on that play, and that's the only way. Because you got to remember, man, Mark Ingram was a reigning Heisman Trophy winner, one of the fastest players in college football, and you don't get ran down like that unless you just trying to be cute.
Yeah,
Instead of
and that.
instead of going ahead doing your job and getting on in the end zone, you trying to like play to the crowd.
Mm-hmm. And I think that was the turning point in the ball game right there. And Michael, he said Texas and USC. Yeah, I give him that one.
Salute to
I
you,
give
Christopher Jones.
I give him that one too. Texas and USC.
I, I'm going to tell you why. That's one of the greatest, but I'm going to tell you why I would not put that up there, Mike, because the refs made some bad calls in that game. One play where they gave Texas a touchdown that should not have counted because Vince Young's knee was down. Um, there was bad coaching in that game on both sides. Mac Brown did some terrible coaching. He made some dumb decisions in that game, and Pete Carroll made some colossal dumb decisions in that game. Um, the reason why I put the LSU Bama 2019 game above that one because both teams brought their A game. Both coaching staffs brought their A. That was the ultimate chess match between Orgeron and Nick Saban and that coaching staff of
Right.
LSU versus that Bama coaching staff. The ultimate chess match.
Yeah.
And
And,
both teams brought their A game.
yeah. And he also said that Auburn versus Bama that walk off touchdown.
That now I'll put that up there. The kick six game, definitely. High stakes drama all throughout that game. Now, there was like I said, a dumb decision at the end of the game. Reason why I didn't make that my all-time great dumb decision at the end of the game, uh, uncharacteristic by Coach Saban to go for the field goal instead of just going into overtime. Because I think if they would have went in overtime, Bama probably could have pulled it out. Because if you
Yeah.
look at the last 5 minutes of the game, Bama pretty much outplayed Auburn the
Yeah.
last 5 minutes of the game. That
Yeah.
defense had wore down.
Yeah. And I'm telling you another thing. I with you on that. I wouldn't have tried for the field goal.
Mm-mm.
You didn't have no confidence in your major your number one kicker because he missed so many field goals. But that been your number one kicker. But you brought in somebody who had to kick the field goal that whole game, who had to
Mm-hmm.
really coming. Might well say coming in cold.
Mm-hmm.
And and then I'm gonna put. I'm not gonna put it all on Nick Saban. I'm
Mm-hmm.
putting it on the whole coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
When you see, and they got a timeout. Auburn called a timeout. They switched the person that switched Ricardo. They took one man that was in the back of the end zone out and put Ricardo Lewis in there. But you still kept just about all big guys up in there.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. That's you can't. That's a coaching error.
Yeah.
That's a coaching error.
Uh, another. There are two other games I would throw in there as my honorable mention: the Peach Bowl, the 2022 game, 22 playoff game between Ohio State and Georgia. Ohio State was just coming off an embarrassing loss to Michigan, and Georgia was riding high, undefeated streak, defending national champions. And Ohio State went up. They went up like two touchdowns and a field goal. They had a big lead on Georgia, and Georgia showed some heart, came back and won the game. Uh, the fact that the kick was missed right at the stroke of midnight just was just epic. When he went wide left, it was midnight. Happy New Year! Who could ever forget? And that now the year before that USC Texas game, that Rose Bowl between Michigan and Texas,
Mm,
go pull up the tape on that game
mm, mm.
because that game was epic.
Yeah. I see. I was laughing at 225 girl's statement. She said she remembered that game and Harbor called by Saban, and she said she was laughing too hard.
Yeah,
I think a whole
yeah,
bunch of folks were laughing hard at that game.
yeah, definitely. That's why I really didn't put the kick six in there
Yeah.
as one of my honorable mentions. Another one would be the last BCS national championship game. You know, that old saying, save the best for last, and they did. Florida
Yeah.
State and Auburn left it all on the field.
Oh yeah, and that was
Left it all on the field.
hey, and look at here. Although Florida State won, they can't take that away from Auburn, and both of them came in that game. They wanted it. They wanted it, and
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to say they were the two best teams that year.
Mm-hmm.
Minus some little extracurricular activities by some players, but that beside the point. But yeah, we gave our greatest team, our greatest players. Hey, that's just our opinion. That's our
Mm-hmm.
opinion. So what's next, Armando?
All right. And we're going to do this in the XD's format. Hot seat. Coaches facing the hot seat in 2025. You can give me three. You
I'm
can
going
give
ahead and
me
say.
three.
I'm going ahead and say it. I'm not going to say he necessarily on the hot seat, but it is a little sizzling. Hugh Freeze. And another one I'm going to go ahead and say is Ohio State, Ryan Day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little warm. And number three, Caleb DeBoer, Alabama.
Okay. That's it. That's what you're going with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask you again. Is those the three you going with? You don't
Yep.
want to switch anybody out?
Nope. 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 Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
All
give you a
right.
reason. You already know the reason I said Ryan Day. It good to win a
Yeah.
national championship.
Uh-huh.
It good to win a national championship, but losing to your rival 4 or 5 games in a row, nah. And Kelly the boy, and I'm looking at Alabama fan and boosters. They ain't looking at SEC championship, conference championship. They're looking at the national championship. So he got to get back to the playoff. And Auburn fans and some Auburn people, way to recruiting slacking off a little bit for 2026 class. He gonna have to make it either make it. He gonna have to make a 8 or better win season this year.
Okay. I'm gonna let Sniper get on in here. Your three coaches that are facing the hot seat going into 2025, Sniper. And salute to you, brother. Happy 4th of July weekend to you.
May the fourth be with you.
May the
In
fourth be
Jesus' name.
with you, brother.
How's everybody doing? Everybody's good? Okay, so you say in the college football?
Mm-hmm.
All right. My first, and I hate to say this, but I think Kirby Smart might be that number 3 spot.
The hot seat.
In the hot seat.
Hot seat.
Yeah. And the only reason why I say that is because of the last. But the only reason why I say that is because of how the last year went, how they underplayed. Even though we had the bad quarterback position, we had awful defensive play, couldn't score touchdowns, as we did in the past. And people, and us fans look at that and be like, okay, so why the changes? I know we lost the offensive coordinator. We added one that is established but not established under Kirby. So it's just one of those where we got to fix. His seat is hot, but it's not hot. I think that the coach from Michigan.
Ryan Day.
Shamar Moore.
Shamar Moore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's still got a lot to prove, and he has to do it quickly with everything that has went on through Michigan. So I think he is on the hot seat, and you know how I feel about that. And I had a third one. I'm going to go to the ACC with Dabble. I think he's on the hot seat. I know they love him down there. I know, but he's not. He's not getting close to those championships as he did in the past. So Clemson is going to be very. I think Clemson needs to do something quickly before they find um, until they reach and find somebody else to coach Clemson. Those are my top three.
Yeah,
Okay.
with more, what keeping his job is he keep beating Ohio State.
Well, he's only one. He's only beat Ohio State. Well, twice.
Twice. Twice. Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
that's why he's not on my list. Let me go ahead and knock out my three list. My three. Um I Hugh Freeze was very close to making my list, but I think he's good because of he's gonna have I know I'm confident that he's gonna bounce back and have a good year this year. Um I'm going with Billy Napier. Yeah. Billy Napier, Sunbelt Billy, he got to get the job done. He got to get the job done. He got to beat either Georgia or Texas in order to hang on to his job. Georgia, Texas, anything short of a win against one of those two teams, I don't see him in Gainesville next year because those fans been wanting to get rid of him for a minute. Now Lagway saved him last year. That defense improved, but if they fall off this year, if they do not have, if they don't improve, because the fans down there they feel like they got a talented enough team to where they could at least go 9-3. The fans, if you ask any Gator fans, every last one of them will tell you anything less than 9 wins is a failure for the talent that they have coming back. So, and a win against Georgia. A win because Georgia's we have a young team. We 65% of our team is freshmen and sophomores. Majority of the starters, this Kirby is going to put more freshmen on the football field this year. His entire 9 years that he's been there. So Billy Napier is a 1. Number 2, Brian Kelly. This is it for him. It ain't no excuse. With the talent they got coming in this year, there's no excuse, man. Them people down there, they are tired. And the problem that he has is his predecessors in the 21st century. We're talking about Nick Saban, Les Miles, Ed Orgeron. All 3 of his predecessors have won national titles. Let me say it again now. All 3 of his predecessors, the last 3 coaches that came before him, all 3 have won a national title. And he's had he had a Heisman winner. Nick Saban didn't have a Heisman winner. Les Miles didn't have a Heisman winner. Orgeron did. But, Brian Kelly had a Heisman winner. And he has a predicted Heisman finalist for this year, Nesmeyer. They're predicting that he will be in New York this year as a Heisman finalist. So Brian Kelly got to step it up. He got to step it up. Number 3, yeah. Number 3, man, let me tell you something. I don't give a damn about that national title that Ohio State and Ryan Day won this year. Because here's the thing about it is, congratulations, you won a national title. But a lot of people are looking at it like you bought the national title. You had a $20 million roster. I mean, there's no way you could miss on winning a national title. Okay. But with that being said, even though you won a national title, you did not beat Michigan. You have not beaten Michigan since before the pandemic. Let me say it again. Ryan Day, you have not beaten Michigan since before the pandemic. I'm going to make a prediction. If you do not beat Michigan this year, I don't give a damn that the game is going to be in Ann Arbor. If Ohio State loses to Michigan this year, I'm not saying Ryan Day going to be fired. But, buddy, that seat going to be hotter than it was in December of last year. Because these people, man, they them Ohio State fans, man, they take that game serious. They do not like Michigan fans having bragging rights over them. This will be 5 in a row. This will be 5 L's if they lose this year. So I'm just saying, I think the other 2 will be fired though, if they don't step it up. I think Napier, Brian Kelly will be gone.
I'm going to give you the date.
But Ryan Day, if he don't get it done this year, going into 2026, that seat gonna be sizzling.
Yeah, and it was 2019, the last time Ohio State beat Michigan.
Yeah, that's what I said. 2019. That's the last time. They have not beaten Michigan this decade, and we're already midway through the 20s.
And Michigan looking to get the glove on them.
And I'm gonna say this, man. I can't remember a time in my lifetime where an Ohio State head coach lost to Michigan 4 years in a row. I'm going back to Earl Bruce. I don't remember Earl Bruce losing 4 in a row. I don't remember John Cooper losing 4 in a row. Hell, Trezor, I don't even remember him losing to Michigan. Urban Meyer didn't lose to Michigan. So this is not a Ohio State problem. This is becoming a Ryan Day problem.
Can I add one?
Go ahead.
Mike Novell.
Yeah, I don't think he'll make it through I don't think he'll make it past week 3.
Yeah, I think if he loses his season opener again, he's going. I think they're going to definitely. I think they're going to put him on the head block, the chopping block, real quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the last time Ohio State lost to Michigan 4 times in a row was 1988 to 1991.
Okay, so that was halfway. Okay, but it wasn't a coach. Earl Bruce was the coach in 88. So I think maybe like a year was Earl Bruce, and so John Cooper lost 3 in a row to them.
Yeah. So, in other words, Ohio State hasn't lost 5 in a row to Michigan yet. And if they lose this year to Michigan, that'd be 5 straight. He would be, boy, and lose to Michigan and don't win the national championship too at the same time. Boy, that seat ain't gonna be hot. It gonna be sizzling.
Salute to you, Frank Nitty. That's the only way his seat doesn't get hot. If he loses to Michigan and still wins the national title, that's the only way you'll cool those fans off. Other than that, if he loses to Michigan and don't win a national title, he will be looking at another Ed Orgeron situation.
Mm-hmm. Man.
Hey, you were I'm gonna have to push some pushback on you because I knew the name was off a little bit, but it was John Cooper who was the head coach in '88.
So okay, all right. So I stand
Yeah,
corrected. John
yeah,
Cooper
yeah,
lost 4 in a row. Well, no wonder he didn't last long there.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Because I was like, I think it was John Cooper. And I didn't want to interrupt you, but yeah, it was John Cooper who lost to them 4 times in a row. And
okay.
I think he got fired right after that last game.
So I'm gonna ask y'all fellas a question. You
Hmm.
think the national championship saved Ryan Day's job this year?
Yeah, I said that after that. I said that.
I don't think it
I
saved.
said
I think it didn't save it. I think it gave him like on the seesaw. I think it gave him a little edge for one more year because now you got to see what you can do with players that you're not paying millions of dollars for.
Yeah.
You don't got 21 players making $2 million a piece, if not more. So I think it's it's teeter tottering on. You about to lose your job still, but you're right on the cuffs of it.
So
Because if it saved his job, we wouldn't. Most people still wouldn't be talking about him losing his job in the 2026 season.
yeah, and like we said, if it weren't for that national championship, he would really be on the hot seat coming into this year.
in my opinion, I think it saved his job. The reason why,
Yeah.
because after he lost that game to after they lost to Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State fans were talking about buying him out of his contract. That was the talk.
Yeah.
That was the talk, brother. And I'm cool with a lot of Ohio State fans. Got Ohio State fans here in my house. And, and I'm telling you, him winning that national title saved his job, brother, because they were thinking about buying him out and maybe like bringing in the guy from Notre Dame
Freeman.
and going in the NFL, getting one of those coaches out of the NFL.
Mm.
Hey, hey, Amanda, you saying that the missus was trying to asking how much y'all can budget this
No,
pay him?
every Ohio State fan.
Yeah,
When I tell you his seat was hot, because
yeah.
that was an embarrassing loss, man. That was
Yeah.
at home in Columbus, and you trying to run the ball on a team that specializes in stopping the run. When you got arguably the best wide receiver in the damn nation, the dude is unguardable. No one can guard this man one on one.
Mm-mm. So so
Hey,
You ain't trying to throw the ball to him.
D
so
True.
it wasn't never a national championship or bust for him last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, D True.
Mm.
The Mrs. Amanda was sitting at the table. Okay, so if we got the mortgage for this month, we can put some aside so we can buy this brother out because he is really killing us right now. He is really killing.
Yeah, man.
Hey, she was calculating.
Hey, look, D Troop was at media day with us for the national championship media day. Did you see many Ohio State fans with smiles on their faces?
Oh no. Nope. Nope. Look, I'm gonna tell you. I'm like, look, you know you're a fan, right? You know you're a fan, right?
Mhm.
And you should be have a smile on your face that your team got to get the chance for the national championship. But they didn't have no smile on their face because that sour taste of that Michigan loss was on
Yes,
their mind.
it was on their minds, man. That them Notre Dame fans were happy, bro. They were walking around smiling, grinning from ear to ear. They had on their little green and yellow, and they was like, man, them folks were happy, man. But them Ohio State fans, it looked like they were just
They was at a funeral.
no, well, no. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Hmm.
You know how you feel when you lose to your most hated rival,
Hmm.
and then you go into a bowl game.
Mm.
To me, it just seems like it felt like they was just there just to be there.
Yeah.
The passion wasn't there. Yeah, the passion
Hey,
wasn't there,
hey,
man.
hey, hey, hey,
he
hey,
said he said them fans was like, "Yay, we here."
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Hey,
look, that's like us Falcons fans. Yeah, they won.
Even
yeah.
when they won, man.
Yeah.
Even the night when they won, man. When we left out of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, bruh, they didn't act like fans that just won a national title, bruh.
That's
It was like,
that sour
okay,
taste of Michigan still in their mouth.
yeah. And
Go.
I heard a couple of fans say, "Well, it would have been more sweeter if we could have beat Michigan."
hey,
Hey,
hey, I'm taking this right here. The Notre Dame fans was like, "Oh, we ain't got nothing to lose for being here. We ain't got nothing to lose." All the pressure was on Ohio State Ryan Day that day.
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, so here's my question to you fellas. What do you think the biggest rivals is going to be this year? I know we have our usual suspects of being rivals, but who do you think that a new rivalry has pop up and it's going to be great for this year?
Hmm.
Um, I think Ohio State and Texas, that's gonna be an ugly game
Yeah.
because Texas, think about it now, the team that eliminated you from the playoffs, you get them on week one.
Yep.
So I mean, not only do you get them, sniper, you get them in their house.
Mm.
Man.
You got
Come on
a
now.
chance to not only beat them, but you got a chance to embarrass them
At home.
in Columbus.
Yep.
Mhm.
I can't look.
Salute to you, L. Wallace.
I was going there myself with that one right there because I look at that. The whipping they put on Texas in that playoff game to get to the national championship game. You think that is not on Sadusky mind? They ain't on
Sarkeesian. Sarkeesian.
Staskisha and
Uh,
Peyton Manning, Archie Manning mind.
every Texas fan, the defense, Matthew McConaughey, man, let me tell you something. Columbus, Ohio is going to be crazy week
Mm.
one. I'm telling you, man. I just hate that they got it at 12 noon. I mean, that's the only thing that I hate about that. The way Fox is doing it, they got them on a noon kickoff, which makes no damn sense.
But you know what though?
But a lot of Ohio State games is they like Ohio State likes that 12 noon game.
Yeah. But you know something? Just think, if Texas went up beat Ohio State in that game, you gotta go the rest of the day. The fans gotta go the rest of the day, nor they got beat by the team they put out the playoff last year. And then you gotta go a whole week knowing that.
I'm gonna tell you like this, man. Texas needs this.
Yeah.
Texas. Let me tell you something now. Right now, Ohio State is in their heads to lose the way they did.
Mm-hmm.
Because they almost came back and won that game, but to lose the way they did, blown assignments, is what cost them the game. So you got 6.5 months to think about it.
Mm.
No, I'm sorry, 8 months to think about it. Eight and some change to think about it. And you go up there, you get the same team. Do you know how much I wish it was us going to South Bend? You know how bad I want Notre Dame, man. I can't speak for you, sniper. I want them so bad because they've been talking all that crap during the whole off season. But the only way we'll get a chance to see them, we got to go through the regular season, hopefully win the SEC, get to Atlanta, take care of business, and hope to see them later on down the line. Texas has been given a gift. You get the team that eliminated you back in January. You get them again in August.
The first
You
game
can't make this up. You can't make this up, bro.
Hey, but listen, there was a team that wanted they wanted that get right, and they didn't get what they didn't get what they asked for. They won the beginning of the year and the last day of the year. You remember that team? to the same team.
What are you talking about?
Alabama versus Michigan.
Yeah, but man, it wasn't back to back though. It wasn't back to back. They lost in consecutive bowl games.
Yeah.
To me, it's one thing to do that. It's one thing to do that. And you can say the same thing about Georgia because we lost to them in Atlanta and then we turned around and lost to them again in September in Tuscaloosa. I'm talking about, do you know how demoralizing it would be if they lost back to the same team?
Hey, listen. I'll be out there like they did LeBron James jerseys. I'll be out there burning jerseys all day. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What other team do y'all? What other two teams do you think is going to be a good rivalry this year?
I think Ole Miss and Georgia, that game is going to be ugly in Athens because Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin tried to embarrass Kirby. He wasn't just trying to win; he was trying to run the score, and Kirby ain't gonna forget that. Kirby. I guarantee you, out of all the games on our schedule, Kirby got that game circled because of Lane Kiffin. So I think Ole Miss and Georgia got a little nasty rivalry going on because the coaches don't like each other. And
Oregon and who?
Oregon and Michigan aren't really rivals like Oregon and Ohio State. They're more rivals. Oregon and Michigan don't really hard to play each other that much.
I was thinking about the game that who gave Oregon a run for their money this year. Oh my God, it just slipped my tongue. I was waiting for you to finish. Now I can't even think.
Penn State and Oregon got
Penn
a little.
State and Oregon.
Yeah, they got a little something going on right now.
Yeah.
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 Illinois and Penn State, they got a little, rivalry going on right now. I think that I think the Clemson and South Carolina game is about that game. That rivalry is about to turn up.
You said LSU and South Carolina?
No. Clemson and South Carolina.
Clemson and South Carolina?
Yeah, that rivalry there is about to turn up.
Yeah.
Because it's not one-sided anymore. It's like Clemson wins one year and then South Carolina won. It's like they're going back and forth now. Now we got a rivalry.
Not too early. What? No, way too early. Who comes out of each division this year?
Okay, so
I hope I'm not asking questions that y'all already asked earlier. I'm sorry.
No. I was gonna kind of save that. I was gonna pick some dark horses, but we can pick. I mean, we can go with it. Because we have the right. We reserve the right to change our minds later on down the line. Starting with the Big 12. I just can't get over the job that Arizona State head coach did last year. I think Arizona State is recruiting well. The talent is shifting from Southern California into Arizona because you got a lot of people moving out of Southern California into Arizona. So just look for a talent shift to Arizona, both Arizona schools, Arizona State and Arizona. Okay. Arizona State's going to win the Big 12. In my opinion, the ACC, I know everybody is saying Clemson, but I just got a feeling, man. Miami. I'm looking at Miami is loaded, man. They got an experienced quarterback, that he went undefeated in the SEC. in 2023. So I'm gonna have to roll with Miami in the ACC. They came up close. They came up short. They came up short last year. They were knocked on. They've been knocking on the door the last couple of years. I think they're kicking in 2025. Um,
You said Clemson?
Clemson, no, Miami in the
Miami.
ACC,
Uh-huh.
Arizona State in the Big 12.
Gotcha.
Okay. In the SEC, I'm going in my opinion, man. I know you ain't gonna like this answer. The most talented team in the SEC coming into 2025, hands down, is Texas. You know, you don't like to hear it. I don't like to say it, but I'm just being honest, man. Texas is the most talented, most loaded team in the SEC this year. In the Big Ten, I'm going with Penn State. Having Jim Knowles as the defensive coordinator, and you look at what he did for that Ohio State defense last year. Now he's going to a team that's even more talented on defense, with more talented players on defense. And you adding Jim Knowles on that staff, yeah, man. Penn State is going to come out of the Big Ten.
Okay. I like your picks, bro.
Mhm.
I like your picks. Yes, I definitely didn't want to hear you say Texas, but you know what? Until I see my dogs on the field, as we got had a great recruiting class, but I kind of we're not being fans, we're being reporters, so they are the most loaded team.
Mm-hmm. And in the nation, to be honest with you.
All right, who you got, D Truth? D Truth, paging Doctor D Truth.
I'm going with Iowa State in the Big 12. Got to watch out for them. They are a sneaky team that could have won a whole lot of games last year, but didn't have enough to beat the big teams. But they got recruits came in, and they got the coaching staff to do it. Be watch out for Iowa State in the Big 12
Big 12, Iowa State. I hear you, Bubba.
and the ACC. Y'all might think I'm crazy. Florida State, Florida State, and because don't mean I said that they got Gus Malzahn. He was better as an offense coordinator. And he got that head coaching hat on, which he make better play calls. And look what the troops they got coming in at Florida State. And I gotta go with the Fighting Illini of the Big Ten. They was knocking on the door, and they almost did it. Guess what? They gonna knock on that door. Don't be surprised. And in the SEC, whoo, he says Texas. I'm gonna have to go with. That's a hard pick in the SEC. Let me see.
So dramatic. So dramatic. So dramatic.
But look here. I'm gonna go with y'all. My thing, I'm going with A&M. Gotta go with A&M. Oh, they ain't gonna beat Auburn, but I gotta go with Texas A&M. Watch out for them. They gonna be knocking on the door, and guess what? They gonna be returned to form.
Okay. That was some picks that I didn't think he was going that direction, but you know, your your compass always go in a different direction than everybody else. I don't know what's wrong with your magnetic fields, but hey, you got that's some good picks though, bro. So on
What
the
about you?
Big 12, I'm gonna say watch out for Houston, the University of Houston.
That was my honorable mention right there, Houston.
Yeah,
I was going back and
I
I was
think
going back and forth. I was going back and forth between Iowa State and Houston. I like Iowa State. Yeah.
yeah they next to Arizona State, I think they got a good chance. Um, I think they got a real good chance to win that one. I say, hey, and I still don't. Hey, don't leave Colorado out of it. I'm gonna make y'all all mad with the Big Ten, but I'm gonna say, watch out for the University of Nebraska.
Mm, okay,
They,
okay.
they had a lot of young players. The ACC, I'm gonna give it to. I want to say Miami, but I don't know how what they got as a leader as a quarterback.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Dabo and his.
Carson Beck is their quarterback. Salute to you, you know.
So I don't know about Miami and their quarterback.
Okay, all right.
Hey, he was
Hey,
saying. I caught what he was saying.
That
No, I
that
ain't said
that
that.
that is the that is a fair a fair statement because he's coming off an injury
yeah.
that not too many quarterbacks have been able to come back from.
Yeah,
Tommy John surgery.
yeah,
Few players have been able to come back and be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Even in baseball, John Smoltz came back from it, but he didn't play that many years after
yeah.
that Tommy John surgery. So
But
that's a
you
fair
look at
statement to make.
see, and the thing about it with baseball with Tom Jones Service, he ain't trying to throw it 50 something yards. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference.
Yeah,
Can he
big
throw
difference.
the deep ball? Can he throw
Yeah,
the deep ball?
yeah.
And can he throw? Can he go more than 30 something passes a game?
That's gonna be the tail of the tail right there.
Mm-hmm.
And remember that the ACC is a passing conference. That's a
Mm-hmm.
passing league. It ain't like the SEC where you can dink and dong and hand the ball off and no man that's they like throwing the ball deep down there in Miami.
Yeah. Um, this is my surprise team, and I'm speaking as a reporter.
So we're gonna go dark horses now. So
Yeah.
we're
Wait.
gonna
Oh, wait.
start
Let me
up.
get my. Let me get my. I didn't get my SEC out. Uh,
Okay.
I'm going to say I'm going to agree with Texas because as of right now, they are the most loaded team in the nation.
Hmm.
Um, but can their coach use them properly? I think a lot of times with a lot of games they lost, they would not use the right play wasn't called for the right player. And they have talent on both sides of the ball. So that's my big teams right there. Did I miss anybody? No,
That's it.
I got him. I got them all.
Okay.
Hey,
All right.
hey,
So
you've got one critical thing. Can he stay off social media too, Carson Beck?
Man, I'm done thinking about Carson Beck.
oh yeah, he already yeah, he okay, so let's go dark horses for each conference. Now we're gonna go two dark horse teams out of each conference. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna start it off. I'm gonna start it off. Okay. I'm gonna start with the SEC. My two dark horses, Auburn and South Carolina.
Mm.
And I know a lot of people probably saying, "What about Florida? What about Florida?" That schedule, that's a gauntlet. They got to deal with Ole Miss. They got to deal with Georgia. They got to deal with Texas, and you don't know what you're working with. You don't know what you're working with Florida State. Florida State. This could be one of those years where the Florida State could just come out of nowhere and dominate. So, um, the Big 12. My dark horses in the Big 12 would be Iowa State and Kansas State. No, I'm sorry. Iowa State and BYU. Those are my two dark horses. Because BYU came close last year. They came very, very close. They lost a nail biter to Arizona State, or they would have been in the playoffs. So I'm going with BYU and Iowa State. It's my dark horses. In the ACC, I'm going with
You better say it too, because you better say it.
I'm going with SMU.
Now, I knew you was gonna say it. I
I'm,
knew
I'm going.
it.
I'm going. I'm going. I don't think SMU going, and the reason why I think they getting disrespected, man, because ain't nobody talking about them. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Yes.
SMU is a dark horse, and I'm gonna give you another one.
Mm-hmm.
Don't laugh.
Say North Carolina.
Uh uh. Uh
Hey,
uh.
hey,
Don't
hey, hey.
sleep. Hold up. Don't sleep on Cal. Don't sleep on Cal.
Oh yeah,
Cal
yeah, yeah.
lost some very close games. They lost some very close games last year. They had Miami on the ropes, man. So
Yep.
Cal and SMU. Those are my two dark horses for the ACC. Now going to the Big Ten. I think Illinois will replace Indiana. I'm almost certain about that. And
Okay.
my other dark horse would be Michigan because the level of talent that they've been recruiting. So Michigan and Illinois will be my two dark horses
Okay.
in the Big Ten. And am I leaving anybody else? Anybody out? I already said the SEC, the Big 12, ACC,
ACC.
Big 10. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it. Those are my dark horses.
For now, I'm starting with the Big Ten. I'm starting with the Big Ten, and I gotta go with Nebraska as one of my dog horses, right?
Who?
Nebraska,
Okay.
Nebraska as my dog horse, and I'm going to have to go with Indiana again. I gotta go with Indiana again. That's an odd pick, ain't it? That's an odd pick for a dog horse, ain't it? Can
Mm-hmm.
they can they reduplicate what they did last year? They're gonna be made to be seen, but you gotta watch out for in the Big 12. Big 12, I gotta go with uh, Arizona State and Kansas State. Gotta go with them two. Cause they were knocking on the door last year. They lost some close game, but it's gonna transcend and make them a whole lot better. And in the ACC, I'm gonna go with Georgia Tech for one of them. I'm gonna go with Georgia Tech for one of them. Although they lost a whole lot, but they brought a whole lot back in. And I'm going with Pitt. I'm going with Pitt. In the SEC, I gotta go with my Auburn Tigers because nobody expected them to do anything. They just expected them to go 6-6, whatever, 8-7, whatever record they want them to go with. I've got to go with Tennessee. Not Tennessee, but Auburn. Then I'm gonna go with Missouri. That's all of them.
Who's your ACC?
So did I say with ACC?
I don't think you mentioned ACC yet, bro.
Yes, I did. I said Pitt and Georgia Tech.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. All right. Y'all took a lot of thunder. So,
Respect to you, new.
yeah. For the Big 12, I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go again. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They lost some close games. I'm going to go with Colorado, and I'm gonna go with Utah as a dark horse. I was going to say West Virginia, but I think Utah got a better chance. In the Big Ten, I'm gonna go with. Don't shoot me for this, y'all. But I'm gonna go with Wisconsin and Minnesota.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay.
And
I can see.
nobody. It's one of those. There's those teams that is Minnesota is one of those teams that they got sneaky wins.
They sure did.
They
They
got
sure
sneaky
did.
wins. You know what I'm saying?
They
Uh,
sure did.
yeah, yeah. And then
Yeah, and they should have beat Penn State
they
last year.
should have beat
Yeah.
Penn State last year. You correctly about that. I'm gonna go SMU. I was going. That's why I was waiting for him to say, for Armando to say that SMU. And I'm gonna give old ball coach the new year, his new year in North Carolina. I think he gonna make some noise this year. He might. I mean, might not make it far his first year, but I think he gonna make it far. Um, my dark horse for the SEC. I'm gonna say South Carolina. And I'm going to agree with D Truth on this one. Auburn.
And you agree with me and Armando.
Hmm.
Yep.
so
Yeah.
so okay, let's talk about the new Pac-12.
Who should be the eighth team added? That was gonna be the question.
Yeah.
Who,
I'm gonna
what?
tell you, go ahead.
Yeah, who should be the eighth team added?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you who's already there right now. Oregon
Hmm.
State, Washington State, Georgia State, Colorado State, Fresno State, San Diego State, Utah State. Gonzaga is a member, but as a non-football member, because I don't think Gonzaga has a football team. And the eighth team that is joining the conference is Texas State.
Is that has that already been set in stone, or is that
Yeah,
a team
uh,
you?
that is Texas State is joining the conference, bringing the total number of new members to 9.
Now that would be eight.
Yeah, I know. I know that'd be 8. So they're looking for one more to bring it to 9.
Okay, so give me two teams that two teams do you think that should be number nine, the ninth team added?
Mm. So we gotta go look at some of these teams that not in the Power Five, and gotta look at some teams that's not in the. You can look at the teams that's in the four. Know what I'm saying? It's gonna be. Whoo. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. I'm trying to think.
They need to add. What's that team? Ooh, who's won that Division One every year? They all that the beginning of the season stunner was that Colorado, not Colorado State. It was oh, what was that? That team that never lost a home opener. That wins their championship every year up north, next to Colorado. Oh my! I'll think about it in a second.
North Dakota State.
North Dakota State.
While D Truth thinking of his two, you go ahead and give me your two. So your first one, Sniper, is North Dakota State. What is your other team that you think that should be the ninth team added?
Ooh, North Dakota State, and I think that's the only team that I can think of right now that should be added.
Okay.
Mm. I want to say San Diego State University.
They already in there.
You sure?
Yeah, they already in the Pac-12. Man.
San Diego State.
But you think about it, these teams that they're adding to the Pac-12, they don't really make noise for the football team, for the football conference. Now, basketball, I can see that, but football, no. It's hard to say who. They need to add a team that's going to make noise, like take Cal from the ACC and put them back into the Pac-12.
Yeah, the new Pac-12 right now is Oregon State, Washington State, Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, Gonzaga. They only playing basketball though. San Diego State, Texas State, and Utah State.
Utah State, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So San Diego State is already a member.
Okay.
So who you got, Armando?
I'm looking more regional. I would say Hawaii.
Yeah.
And Nevada. I would love to say UNLV, but UNLV right now, the Mountain West has them locked into they have them locked in. The Mountain West is the standard. I mean, UNLV right now is the standard for the Mountain West. They are, they broke bread with UNLV to stay there. They're the ones keeping that conference together. So, Hawaii, I would look to kind of make the Pac-12 a regional, to make it attractive regionally. So Hawaii and Nevada.
Yeah. I was thinking Nevada, and I was kind of looking at the Hawaii, but I was looking at kind of the time shift, whatever, and the travel. But hey, I like them too. I like them two being in there.
Mm-hmm.
I like them too. I like them too.
I see. I would love to see North Dakota State make that jump.
I would like to see North Dakota State make the jump into the Power 5, but as either a Big 10 or a Big 12 team. To put them out there in the Pac-12 would be kind of a stretch. I think they would be tailor-made for the Big 10. It would be perfect for the Big 10. Can you imagine North Dakota State and Minnesota rivals? North Dakota State and Wisconsin rivals. North Dakota State and Iowa, they already got a little something going on, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, North Dakota State and Iowa already put a bad taste in each other's mouths. So,
so it's gonna be very interesting and to see who else they put in there. And can the Pac-12 become a Power 5?
Absolutely, yes. Boise State brings some firepower. Washington State brings some firepower. Oregon State brings some firepower. Look, man, I think they can. Yeah. Because you're gonna have Boise State, Washington State, Oregon State. Now here's what I would do if I was them though. I would try to buy Cal and Stanford out of their contract with the ACC, which wouldn't be expensive, and try to get them back out west.
And then with that, when you take them out of the ACC, I would pay Notre Dame to join the ACC.
But I'm gonna tell you, they are part of ACC, but not football wise. That's the problem. In other sports, they playing ACC, They part of the ACC, but in football, they are not. I don't understand how they got that deal because of the TV deal. I don't understand that.
Well, you know what? The thing that I would like to see, and I think one of y'all mentioned this before, if they're going to be a non-conference, each year they got to play a conference schedule. And what I mean by that, each year, if you're going to be a non-conference, guess what? You're going to be put into the ACC one year. You're gonna play their conference schedule,
Yep.
and the SEC one year, the Big
Yep.
12 year, and because I think that makes because you over there beating up on little teams majority of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which one of y'all said it. I don't know if I said it, but I know we said that before.
I think you was the one that made that suggestion, Sniper.
Yeah.
You made that suggestion, and I agree with you. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
One year you play a Big Ten schedule, the next year you play a Big 12 schedule, then the next year you play an ACC schedule, then the next year you play an SEC schedule, then the next year you play a Pac-12 schedule.
Yeah,
That would make it fair instead of
because
playing the ACC every year. That's not fair.
you think
I don't
about
think
it,
that's fair at all.
is it because Notre Dame is considered as a private school, correct?
Yep.
So if it's a private school and you got other private schools like BYU is considered as a private school, are there Mormon nomination dominate?
Well, you got a couple of Georgia Tech is a private school,
Right,
but
but they're in
they're
conference.
playing the ACC. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say this: they got Texas A&M on their schedule with the SEC. Purdue was a Big Ten. Arkansas SEC schedule. Boise State, USC, Navy, and Stanford.
here's my question to both of y'all, and it's for the chat too. Chat, y'all give me yes or no. Do you think that Army and Navy is going to be as successful as they were last year, this year?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no.
So you think it was a fluke?
I ain't gonna say it's a fluke, but that's one of the lifetime things to happen when Army and Navy both goes on undefeated and loses to Notre Dame.
I think Navy will. I think Navy will. I'm looking at what they did to Oklahoma in their bowl game,
Ooh.
and they got some players coming back. So I think
Yeah.
Navy will be a problem this year. Army, not so much.
Mm-mm. What do you think about Georgia Tech?
Georgia
They
Tech gonna
lost a
be
lot.
Georgia Tech. They still got Haynes King, and they've recruited pretty well. Georgia Tech gonna be a problem.
Yeah,
They are gonna be a problem. We're gonna find out about them early. If they take care of Colorado and take care of Clemson, they're gonna be a serious threat to win the ACC.
Yeah.
because I think they were playing with a bunch of sophomores and juniors last year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think 80% of the team came back, if not
Mm-hmm.
more.
When you got 80% of the team coming back and they play as well as they played last year and some of the close games they lost, I feel like when a team does that, I don't care what team it is, that team, them players gonna be on a mission.
Yeah, but you got to also think too, they're being coached different.
Yeah, yeah,
They got
yeah.
a darn good coach over there.
Mm-hmm.
Darn good coach. I mean, he was.
And the OC
Mhm.
Buster, was it Buster Posey?
Yeah, I think that's what his name
Mm-hmm.
is. Yeah, so it's gonna be very interesting this year.
Yep. Now here's the closeout question right here. Listen, this decade we've named a team where it's championship or bust. In 2020, you go back to 2020 when we did the pandemic year, it was Alabama. Alabama national championship or bust because they were bringing back a lot of players, Najee Harris and all of them. In 2021, it was Georgia championship or bust. 2022, it was Michigan championship or bust. This year, I'm gonna start with you, D True. Then we're gonna go to you, Sniper. Then I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna close it out. Name your team where it is championship or bust.
Let me go ahead and say this. It's going to be Clemson. It's going to be Clemson.
That's all. And I disagree with that one, but you go ahead, Sniper.
Well, all the trash talking that this team does and still come up short, I'm going to say Texas.
That's a damn good one, though.
Yeah, I love that one.
That's a damn good one, there, man.
Yeah.
Because look, they've been knocking on the door. The last 2 years, they got put out of the semifinals. So you're right. It ain't but one way. It ain't but one step. They got to at least get to the national championship game, man. You know.
Yeah. Yep.
That's like me. That's like me playing on the Heisman on college football, and I get all the way to that semifinals. I'm like, yes, I can win this game.
And before you make your pick, I just seen who's the assistant head coach and co-office coordinator and quarterback coach, Chris Winkie for Georgia Tech.
Oh, Chris Winkie is took over.
Okay. As co-office coordinator and quarterback coach. So see why the quarterback plays.
So they still got the Buster guy.
Yeah, Buster Faulkner.
Buster Faulkner. Yeah, they got a staff, man. Georgia Tech got a staff, man. You know what? I like our staff too, but Georgia Tech got a staff. Georgia Tech may have the best staff in the ACC.
Yeah,
to be honest with you. So that's something right there to look out for, right there. My pick, championship or bust. To me, in my opinion, one of the most talented teams returning. Their quarterback is considered a Heisman favorite. As a matter of fact, he's the leading candidate for the Heisman. Preseason Heisman favorite. And they got a defensive guru as their defensive coordinator. Penn State. It is championship or bust. I know nothing less. Nothing less. You got to win it all. With all that talent you got coming back, you got those two stud running backs coming back. You got Drew Aller, the preseason Heisman favorite coming back. You got that deep. You got damn near your entire starting defense returning. And you got, in my opinion, the best defensive coordinator in the nation, Jim Knowles, as your defensive coordinator.
Yep.
There is no excuse whatsoever. None whatsoever.
No excuse. You're right. All the three teams we pick, they're going to have to make the playoff and win the championship. Get close to it or something. But unlike Ryan Day, if he don't beat Michigan and win the championship, and let's say win the championship this year, this coming football season, how would that still look?
No. I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I'm gonna take it off of him for a minute. Penn State coach has been there for the longest time, and he hasn't been able to. Last year he showed when he was on a hot seat for real. Because remember, we was talking about that at the beginning of last season.
Yeah.
That dude has to win it. I agree with Armando on that one. I wish I could change it because I didn't think that deep. But you think about it. You think about it. He's been on a hot seat ever since he showed up.
Yeah. Yep.
Armando, you hit a gold mine right there, bro.
Yeah.
And I know and I understand why a lot of people would have went your way, Sniper, and would have said Texas because Sarkeesian and losing in the semifinals 2 years in a row, but you have a first year starter as your quarterback.
Yeah.
You got a first year starter as your quarterback. You're losing Macumba on defense. Yeah, you're losing your All American left tackle on the O line. So you're not as loaded as Penn State. Penn State is loaded. Yeah, I mean, man, the same thing I said about Ohio State last year, going into last year at the kickoff show for last year, when I said Ohio State, and Alpha was in the chat at the time, I said it is championship or bust. This year in 2025, that applies to you, Penn State. That applies to you, Penn State fans. There is no damn excuse. You are the most loaded team with the best coaching staff in the damn nation. It ain't no excuse.
No
And
It
excuse.
ain't no excuse.
I'm looking at their schedule, how they started off. They got Nevada first game, FIU, Villanova, Oregon. Their first 4 games is at home.
Mm-hmm.
So their first real test is not until Oregon.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Oregon
It's at home.
and Oregon don't have a doggone. We don't know what Oregon quarterback's going to be like. They know what their quarterback going to be like.
Mm-hmm.
Then they got go to UCLA. Northwestern come to Penn State. They got to go to Iowa. They got to go to Ohio State. And Indiana comes into Penn State. Got to go to Michigan State. Nebraska comes to Penn State, and they got to go to Rutgers the end of the season.
The regular season, they should be either 12-0 or 11-1. The only loss should be in Columbus. The only L I see on that schedule is in Columbus. But I can see them winning in a rematch in Indy. I think they can get them outside of Columbus
So
in a
James
rematch
Franklin,
in Indy. But listen, man, it ain't no excuse, man. If James Franklin can't get it done, if James Franklin cannot get it done with the level of talent that he has returning this year, man, Penn State might want to think about going in a different direction because I think it would be a long time before they ever have an opportunity like this again. I'm just being honest. They're loaded.
yeah, they are. Well, that's our take on the beginning of the football season. Our first college football show. And fellas, y'all remember I say 48 more days to college football kickoff.
Mm-hmm. 48 more days.
48. We count down. And fellas, y'all ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Sniper?
I am ready.
I've been watching the old football game, like get myself ready. I've been watching the old football game. I don't care who it is. I've been watching them like you know in football season when you start watching old games, don't you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Give me your preseason Super Bowl pick.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy, mercy me.
We're gonna talk some NFL this year too, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. We're gonna talk some
Yeah.
NFL this year too.
Let me see. I cannot shake Kansas City out of my head right now.
Oof.
I can't shake Kansas City out of my head again. And what can you say? Kansas City is the team to beat, and you got to beat them.
I think it's going to be just like basketball was this year. I think it's going to be a team that we haven't thought about, and y'all going to kill me when I say this. Oh Lord, I don't even want to say it. Watch out for them Browns. Them Browns has loaded up, and I think that Mr. Sanders is going to prove some people wrong. This watching his highlights and watching what he's been doing in practice, and the man, whatever he did over the summertime after the draft, he's really improved. So I just say watch out for them Browns. I want to say my Falcons, but they still got a lot to get done. But I think Kansas City is on the verge of being done.
All right. Well, who's your Super Bowl pick?
Oh no, I can't even do that right now, bro. I can't.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and make mine. Out of the NFC, there's no team more loaded than the Eagles. The Eagles are just head and shoulders above. Better. I know a lot of teams in the NFC are going to be much improved, including my Falcons. I think Detroit is still going to be there, but I'm looking at Minnesota probably taking the North, the NFC North this year, and knocking Detroit out of the block. Detroit will be a wild card team this year. The 49ers are going to make some noise, but as far as overall and out of the NFC, the Eagles are head and shoulders above everybody else. Um, the AFC, I think Kansas City will go down in the divisional round. I don't even think they'll get to the AFC Championship game, which will leave Baltimore and Buffalo battling for the AFC crown. And I'm just gonna give it to Buffalo, man. The more experience, they've been knocking on the door for the last 3 to 4 years, and I think they're gonna kick it in, and that is gonna be your Super Bowl, Buffalo and Philadelphia, in my opinion.
But Buffalo is like the Buffalo of the '90s.
No, not this Buffalo team.
Oh,
They're
but
not.
they get so close, and you like, come on, just just win.
Yeah,
How many?
I mean, Kansas City's been doing it to everybody. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
mean, they've been. It took Philadelphia a second try to beat them. Because remember, they beat Philadelphia a couple of years ago in the Super Bowl. So that Buffalo Bills from the '90s, they were losing to different teams. They lost to the Giants, lost to the Redskins, lost to the Cowboys. They were losing to multiple teams. This Buffalo team, their only roadblock has been Kansas City. That's the only team that's been in their way.
I think this year, I think for each division, I don't think nobody's going to run away with the division. It's going to come down to who won who has the most points, because when you have like the Falcons and the Aints, if they both win and they're the head of the division, they're going to who scored the most points.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is going to go all the way because these teams are starting, and like you said, I believe the Eagles are head and shoulders above everybody else, and they just keep reloading. But I think that throughout the division, it's going to come down to who has the most points in that game or throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's going to be a runaway team this year in any division.
It's gonna be interesting in the NFL and in college football. It's gonna be very, very interesting to see how this stuff goes. I'm ready for some football. Great.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
Am I the only one that sit and watch on Facebook every day when they start doing a countdown for a team, like 74 days, and they do a player who's number 74 who did something spectacular, or somebody scored 74 points. I'm ready. I'm saying,
Yeah, because this is the one year where I can't tell you who is gonna win it. Last year, I knew without a doubt. I said Ohio State was
you
gonna be
did
the
say
team
it.
to win it. Uh,
And for the record, because I didn't. This is our first game, our first football podcast. Uh, I just want to say, Armando, I do apologize for making fun of you all year long. Okay, I say
I
that. I
hey,
say that with love. I say that with, hey, listen, my man called it. He's like, he's only one for right now. I say he's 1-1 since we've been doing this, because the year before that he was calling for USC, and I told him that.
no, I no 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 no. I had USC as a dark horse. I never picked USC to win the whole thing. In 2023, I picked Georgia, the three-peat. I was wrong with that one.
Yeah,
2022, I picked Georgia to repeat. I was right.
yeah.
2021, I picked Georgia. I was correct. 2020, I picked Bama, and I was correct.
But since we've been doing the show, that's what
Since
I'm.
we've been, I only was wrong 1 year, and that was 2023. I picked Georgia, and Michigan won it. But I never picked USC to win anything. I picked them as my dark horse.
Hey, but hey, D True, do you remember that year when he picked USC and we was like, "What are you talking about?" He was
I picked them
high
as a
and mighty on that
I
team.
picked them as a dark
I
horse. I didn't pick them to win anything. And that was
think
2021. I picked them. We do the same format every year. Had a
Yeah.
dark horse, and I had a team that I knew was gonna win. Georgia was the team that I knew was gonna win, and USC was my dark horse. They were the dark horse. Dark horse is a team that you think will maybe be in the playoffs, but you don't think they're gonna win it. They're not gonna win it. They just like Auburn and South Carolina. I think they could sneak in the playoffs, but as far as winning it, no. Mm.
Well, I can't wait till this season starts. I'm getting antsy. I already sent out my text messages. Do not invite me to any weddings, to any uh, first birth of nieces and nephews. You better have them after football season. Don't ask me out on dates because I'm not going.
Now baby showers they can't help now.
Yeah,
No, now female come up pregnant in August. She want to have a baby shower in November. Ain't nothing you can do about that now.
well, guess what? I guess I'll stay single for another football season.
All right, everybody, let's go ahead and give up the final thoughts. It's after midnight.
And I'm about to
Sundays officially Sunday mornings. I know everybody got to get up in the morning. So, final thought, Sniper, starting with you.
Hey, listen, y'all. It's gonna be a rough couple of weeks until we hear that first Star Spangled Banner play. But I'm gonna tell you, hey, just hold on just a little bit longer. We almost there. God bless. Pray for each other. Pray for your enemies. And with that, Sniper out.
Be true.
Well, I'm gonna say this right here. I will try to keep y'all entertained through the week to get to that first game of the season. And I don't know what I'll talk about. Like I said in my last video, in the video of that, even on this, leave some comment of what subject you want me to talk about. We will talk about it. Try to get us through this 40 some days. Like I always said, love and respect.
You forgot the slogan, bro. Come on, man.
No, I had to look at it, see what you do. Put down
Okay. Okay. Say ain't nobody invite him to no baby shower.
Ooh, hurrying together always does that. Okay.
Mhm.
Like I always say, love and respect yourself. Cause when you love, respect yourself, you seek to all BS. Self love is the best kind of love. Cause who can love you better than you love yourself? Peace. I'm out.
All right, everybody. Today was officially the kickoff show to kick off the 2025 season. I will be cranking up the dog call later this week. We'll be talking about my Georgia Bulldogs. And we'll also, have other shows where we'll be doing previews. We're going to go conference by conference. We're going to go more deeper into the conferences. We did our preseason picks today. Now we're going to come back in August before the season start. Because by then we don't know, injuries occur in fall camp. So like I always say, we reserve the right to make changes to our picks that we make on the kickoff show. So everybody, football season has officially begun tonight. 20 East sports media football season is here. So get ready. We're going to be talking football from here on through January to the last team standing in the national championship game. So, everyone, thank you all for coming out. Make sure you hit that like button. For those of you that are going to watch the playback, make sure you hit that like button as well. Everyone, take care of yourselves and each other. Please be safe out there. For those of you that are going out tonight to the clubs tonight, be safe. Be aware of your surroundings. Ladies, use the buddy system. Travel in packs. Look out for one another. And it's hot. We're going through a heat wave right now, all throughout the southeast area. Make sure you drink plenty of water and keep your bodies replenished. So, everyone, thank you all for coming out. And hey, until next time, I'm Armando Black for my co-host D Truth and Sniper. This has been the 20 East First and 10 Sports Show, the college football official kickoff show. All right. And also pray for Texas. It's a lot of states that are being hit with heat waves, and Texas had a bad flood down there. So make sure we have our uh, Texan brethrens and sisters are in our prayers as well. So everyone, thank you all for joining us tonight. This has been the First and 10 Sports Show. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. And one last thing. Go dogs. Sick 'em. Woo, 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 woo. College football season is here.